taking us through the step-by-step process of acquiring a passport here in Uganda.
Yes, the step-by-step process actually was made so much easier. All a person has to do is get their phone, get internet, or get a computer, and then you log on to www.passports.go.ug. Then you start application, and you fill in all the details. There's a security question, and you fill in all that given details there. Then they ask you about your details, where you stay, residential address. The next part is about your parents, where do they come from, and their clans, and a little bit of grandparents. Then the next part is next of kin. Then those who are married also put in something there. Then the next part is recommender. Then after recommender, you choose a bank that you want to pay in, and then you submit. Once you submit, it brings you a PDF format that you're supposed to download and keep safe. And once you download and print, you go to the bank or bank agents, and you make payment of 250,000. If you prefer express, you can pay on top of the 250,000, you pay 150,000. Those will be 2 receipts. Once you finish paying, you go back to your computer and select schedule appointment. When you schedule appointment, it will provide you with available dates that are free for you to come and do the biometrics capture and interviews. Once you select the date, it will select for you the available time on that day. Then you come, you wait for that day, you come for interviews, biometrics, signature, pictures, retinal scan. And once you're done with that, you wait your 10 or 7 days actually and get your passport without using anyone. You can actually do this on your own without relying on anyone.
Why have we had so many middlemen?
Well, I could attribute it to the fact that Ugandans have this belief that they can't do anything on their own. They believe in shortcuts because they think shortcuts are faster. You see, in the past, before we brought the e-passport, when we had the machine-readable passport, it was about you coming to the offices, you pick the forms, then you go back, you fill in. Then there's that belief that if you fill in these things, especially for Banyarwanda, if you fill in these things, they won't give you a passport and all that. So they really believe that if you use shortcuts, somehow you will avoid all these red tape, and then you'll get your passport very fast. But that is even not true, because it's actually an offense to falsely declare. For those that actually want to use shortcuts for the purpose of falsely declaring, it is an offense. And once caught, you will actually be prosecuted. Then I don't know why they believe that middlemen are the other people to use. Like things work faster with the middlemen. Yet once they try to do this thing on their own, they will actually see that it actually works, even without using anyone. The things are actually seamless and easier to use.
Going back to the process, what requirements are needed, or what documents are required?
The major requirement needed in all this is a national ID.
National ID?
Yes. So on top of the national ID, you have to have a person recommending you. That person has to be a Ugandan and has to present you with a copy of their national ID. Then for children, of course, there are additional requirements. For example, the parents have to consent. And remember, children are minors. They can't, of course, have their own file numbers. So we always include them on one of the parents' file number until they make 18. And then we also know kids don't have national IDs. but their birth certificates have NIN numbers. So that is no exception also.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, you talked about, is it a week?
Yes.
Is it consistently a week after registration and all that?
If everything is in order, after interviews, you wait 7 days and your passport will be out.
Okay.
Wow. At most 10 days, but usually 7 days.
Okay. But we have seen people, is it now only electronic?
Yes.
Someone can't go to internal affairs and do everything from there?
No, you can't.
Okay. Oh, that is quite interesting then.
By the time you come to internal affairs, you have to have made an application, paid in the bank, and scheduled an appointment.
Okay.
And that time when you're there, it will be your appointment date. So there's really no other time you're needed there.
Okay. So can we talk about middlemen, the challenges? How has this, first of all, affected you, the people in charge of this? Because somehow, somewhere, middlemen have defrauded people, and what they have in mind now is that it is now the entity that is failing us, which is internal affairs.
True. You see, when middlemen approach these people, they usually actually approach them out there.
Wow, at internal affairs.
Yes, but outside.
Okay.
Of course, these people can't differentiate between an immigration officer.
Yeah.
Even if we put on a uniform, they'll still believe that there are also other immigration officers that don't put on uniforms. So these guys will actually come and tell you, I actually work there. No, today I didn't put on a uniform, but I work there. You need a passport? That is so easy. Just give me 2 million. This thing will be done in a matter of 4 hours. You just wait 4 hours. There are actually people, they've actually fleeced 2 million.
2 million?
Yes, 2 million. There are those, they've fleeced 3 million. It all depends. But these middlemen taint our image because they use our name.
Exactly.
And then the victims are always in belief that we are conniving with them. But we are not. Ministry of Internal Affairs does not connive, does not deal with any third parties. That is why we actually created an online system that the applicant is supposed to use by themselves and communicate with us. We actually even set up a call center for cases of people who are not sure of what to do, how to make the application. There's a dedicated team ready to actually guide you on what to do.
Okay.
So this middleman part is actually decreasing by the number of late because of such events where we have to come for talk shows, inform the public. We've done visibility campaigns, and this has actually helped us a lot. Okay. But in the past, we were doing bad. Middlemen had infiltrated the place. We resorted to even arresting because it had gotten too much. Yeah.
Okay. What common tactics do they use? So someone out there can know to differentiate this could be a fraud or this one is the real one to deal with?
Well, for starters, they need to know that an immigration officer dresses like how I've dressed.
Okay.
No one else dresses in any other way. If anyone comes to you and says they're an immigration officer and they are not in uniform, please do not deal with those people.
Okay.
We all put on our uniforms from Monday to Friday of all the working hours. We are dressed in uniform with our name tags and you can identify us. Okay. So anyone who is not putting on a uniform is not an immigration officer. So they should actually gauge from that. Other than that, the rest are just obvious things. I can help you get it in 4 hours. There's always a timeline, an agreed timeline. No more 250, ordinary takes 7 to 10 working days. Then express takes 48 hours. So if someone tells you, I can get it for you in 4 hours, really, they are lying to you. They are not. And why would you pay more than 250,000 shillings? Why would you pay 2 million? There's no passport of 2 million. So really, they have to look into that. Like, there are things that are really not that what.
Okay. Can we talk about you did talk about someone who was defrauded for 2 million. When you get to know such information, what measures do you take?
Well, all we can do is just say sorry to them and tell them to always be cautious, because now you decided to connive with someone out of the gate. When you're already at the premises, all you had to do is just step inside and ask anyone in uniform, but you dealt with someone out of the office, which is out of our hands. We can't help you with that. If they've fleeced you 2 million, of course, we'll feel bad about that, but at least to let you know of the right way to make this application, so that the next time no one can actually fleece you again.
Doesn't this call for more energy in terms of sensitization and sort of?
You're right about that. And we are doing our best at the moment. We've actually done sensitizations, and we've engaged so much in TV talk shows, radio talk shows, which is actually helping a lot. Even social media on Twitter, we are there, and we are always letting the public know, clarifying on a few things and all that. It has actually helped us a lot.
Okay. So what measures has the government, or maybe you specifically as the ministry, put forward to at least curb down the level of fraudness involved in getting passports?
Well, it was actually that pressing issue that caused us to form a call center where people can actually call in case of in fact, even cases of corruption in the ministry in regards to our services. That call center acts as an avenue for you to report such things. You can also call. In fact, if you're like on your phone like this, filling in for your passport, and then you get stuck somewhere, just call. All you have to do is call, and they will reply you. They will actually guide you on the right path. And it has actually helped us. It has helped also shape our image and clean the dirty part that the middlemen had left. Yes.
Okay. And are there any public awarenesses?
Yeah. Yeah, there are public awarenesses. Right now, we are soon engaging in the CBS PEOSA, which is going to be in Masaka. It helps us curb on that mass of people, so that we have to utilize the opportunity to give them the right procedure of applying. Do you know that most people actually believe that the ministry is unapproachable?
Oh.
That you can't get a passport if you don't know your mother. But yet the Constitution says otherwise. It has to be either one or both parents. If you know the father, we can deal with the father. If you know the mother, we can deal with the mother. Do you know most people actually don't even know how to make an application out there? Kampala, at least we've been able to curb so many of them, they now know. But out there, they're really oblivious. So that is where we are targeting mostly now.
Okay. So there are no legal consequences these fraudsters do face?
Well, at the moment there are no legal consequences. Why? Because there's no law that forbids middlemen. There's also no law that accepts middlemen. So you cannot charge them with anything. It will be maybe according to the victim to to press charges on their own. But the ministry cannot. But they can arrest you if they found you doing that.
Okay.
Yes.
Interesting. So how has the passport process evolved over the years, and what step are we at currently as Uganda?
Well, it's more of paperless right now. Files are not getting lost. A file can actually stay there for years and years in the system. Those days, if a file moved from one step to the other, chances are around there in the middle it would get lost. And then you have to start the process again. And then the passport gets delays a lot. You don't know why. But then that would be the issue. Your file is lost, or your file or papers plucked out of your file, things like that. But all that was cleaned out when we engaged the online system. The online system had a lot of reasons why we had to advocate for it. For starters, we wanted to get rid of middlemen. There was no other way but to introduce the online way.
Okay.
And it also helped us with organization. There's now a database that keeps your detail. A person cannot come and say they've never got a passport. The system can actually show you've ever got, and you have to produce the passport.
Oh.
Yes. So it helps us with all those discrepancies. So you can iron them out easier. And the e-passport has actually helped in that.
So can we talk about the technology trends? And by the way, if our passport currently is is world class to, if we have to compare it to other nations and sort of, is it the latest?
Yes, it is. It's a polycarbonate, which most countries actually have.
Okay.
And it's an e-passport with an embedded chip. And it can actually access e-gates and can self-check in. Yeah, at all airports that have self-check-in e-gates, including Uganda. Uganda also has a self-check-in e-gate.
Okay, interesting. And then let's talk about the embracing technology in terms of whatever you do at the ministry, majorly in passports. How have we embraced technology, and how are we making use of it?
Well, we have embraced technology. However, the public is grudgingly embracing the technology. But that's the trend now. That is where we're all going. So you will find that when you tell someone that there's no other way, you have to apply online. You have to go on your phone. Remember, most people in Uganda don't have smartphones. So you have this question to yourself: what will people do that don't actually know how to use a computer? What do people do that don't even have smartphones or own a computer? But they're good enough right now. We have internet cafes. Most of those people have been helped like that. True, you will have to incur some cost because these people are making a business. But the cost is not even that much. Usually they charge around 10,000, 20,000, if I'm to guess. But they will help you eventually.
Sure.
And whether we like it or not, we have to embrace the digital trends because that's what is happening. In fact, right now, those who apply from out of Uganda, from abroad, they pay using their visa cards. When they are paying for the passport fees, they pay using their visa cards, and it automatically synchronizes the system, and they are able to schedule appointments to go to the necessary embassies for interviews. So yeah, we are really into it, and I don't think we are going back.
Okay. And now in that regard of technology, do you think we are there yet as Ugandans? Because I feel we are really reluctant in that regard.
No, we are actually we are halfway there.
Okay.
We are not yet fully there. Yeah. If by the time you have to print out, your passport, like after applying, you have to print out, then take to the bank to pay. Now that has to be eliminated.
Okay.
Because you see, if during lockdown in Dubai, people actually used to apply for passports without having to go to the passport center. And you apply for your passport till the last step, your passport is sent to your mailbox, and you get it.
Okay.
Without meeting anyone. You see how that is? Now that is 100% technology. But now here we are halfway there. We are still applying the paper somewhere. But until we get rid of it completely, then it will be completely technology.
Wow. Interesting. Very much insights here coming in from Ms. Nakiwala, who is the deputy spokesperson from the Ministry of Internal Affairs, telling us the process of a passport and also the aspect of middlemen there who have become fraudsters instead of surely helping out there. But well, we are continuing with this, only that we're going in for a very short break and return with more.
Issues at hand, powered by
Arithea Hotel by Marriott Entebbe. Comfort and luxury at its best.
Family TV, enriching lives. Issues at hand, powered by
Arithea Hotel by Marriott Entebbe. Comfort and luxury at its best.
Oh yes, welcome back. You are still watching Issues at Hand, and today we're discussing issues to do with the passport and the process of the passport, and also the middlemen in there, the challenges and all those things. So with me here is Mrs. Nakiwala, Arithea, who is the deputy spokesperson of the Ministry of Internal Affairs, and she has been really giving us wonderful insights in there. So in case you missed the first segment, you're going to run to YouTube, get that link, and of course see how beneficial the information given here can be to you, especially if you want to go and apply for a passport and all that. So we're continuing with the discussion, and now I want to shift my mind to the advice to the public, especially when one wants to go for the application process of a passport. What advice do you share to them?
The advice I would give them is let them first research before drawing conclusions. And please stop listening to people's hearsay. There are so many stories going around there. Most of them are not even true. This tendency of people telling you, if you don't know this, if you don't know that, you won't get a passport. It is your fundamental right as a citizen of Uganda to get a passport. And if you want to make an application and you don't know how to start, please call our toll-free numbers. There's a dedicated team waiting to actually guide you on the right path. You call on 0417 102 600. 0417 102 600. That is our call center number. Okay. You can call them from 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. They will be there to guide you. And also the website, they will also be there to guide you on the website. If in case you fail to get them on phone, you can always go online and search passport application system. Just even put that, just that, passport application system. It will be the first thing that comes on the top of the list, and you go with that and apply for your passport. It is a very user-friendly interface, and you cannot actually get lost because every detail they ask there is about you. So only you know what to put in there. So please do not go to middlemen. They will not guide you in any way. You will actually spend more money, and you will actually feel bad about it when you realize you've spent more money than you should. A passport is 250,000 shillings. If you want express, you add 150,000 shillings. That is 400. So it does not cost any more than that. Do not spend more money applying. These people that we keep hearing of passport application, you pay 450. There's no passport of 450. This person wants money, they want to make business, and you're providing them with that because you do not want to research. But we have a call center that we put for you to call. Please utilize it. That is all I can tell.
Okay. And then do you monitor, how do you monitor and regulate the process?
The process?
Of acquiring a passport.
Oh, we don't actually monitor. But we keep a record of how many applications per financial year. And currently, so far, ever since we started the e-system, I mean the e-passport, we have so far 3 million applications.
3 million?
Yes, 3 million. And they are all kept in the database.
When did you start the e-system?
We started in November 2018.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
that
so
is
far
when
it's
the
3 million?
So far it's 3 million.
Wow.
So really, it is a small number compared to the population of this country. And we've actually decentralized. We have passport centers in all the regions of Uganda.
Oh.
In the west we have in Barara.
Okay.
Then east we have in Mbale. Then east we have in Mbale and Jinja. Then we have also in Gulu in the north. Yeah. So basically everywhere there's a passport center that you can actually reach. You don't have to travel to Kampala, because you see that could have been the major reason why most people are not applying. The thought of having to come
Yes.
to all the way to Kampala and then not getting a service. That is actually one thing that bothers people. But now we've decentralized, you can actually just go to these places, the nearest for you. You just go and submit your application.
Okay. You did mention that if one doesn't have a national ID, there are no chances.
Yes, there are no chances of getting. You have to have a national ID because the system communicates with the database of national ID of NIRA to assess your citizenship. Remember, before the person gets a passport, it has to be extensive interview on where you come from, your roots, because according to the Constitution, for one to be considered a citizen, the major factor for one to be considered a citizen, they have to belong to an indigenous community. So as a Ugandan, you have to really know where you belong. Do you belong to the Buganda region? Where exactly do you hail from? Where did your ancestors come from? You have to know all those things. But you find that most people are not that inquisitive. They don't know these things, and extra measures are put in place for you to prove your citizenship. For example, some of them you find that a grown man or a grown woman is actually sent for his or her parent to come and sit the interview for them because they failed the interview. And we cannot just believe in the fact that you know nothing really. You can't be there alone in the world unless you are adopted. For adoption cases, that's a different issue. So, yeah.
Okay. Now let's talk about the complaints or feedback. How do you incorporate, how do you make use of the public complaints and maybe their feedback they give?
Well, the public complaints, we usually, because most of the complaints we get are usually I'm unable to submit, I'm unable to pay, and some website issue, the website is off. Then you have those ones of long lines, but the long lines are not there anymore. Usually we find out why they are long lines. And we found out that most people don't keep time. If the appointment tells you you have to be here by 9 to 10, by 8:45 you should be there waiting. By the time they call for the 9 a.m.s, you should be around to enter and be worked on. It takes you, I think, 20 minutes to be called and worked on. Then when they sit inside, they get onto their phones and get absent-minded, and the system starts calling out tickets. Once they call you more than 4 times and you're not responding, they move on to the next person. And by the time you remember they called you, they've already gone to the 11 a.m. people. So that, and then they go and complain they are not working on them, they've been there for a full day, yet that could be the underlying issue. So yeah, most of the complaints, we try to look into them and see the cause. What is causing this? What is causing that? Because usually that ticket now, we estimated that a person is not supposed to take more than 30 minutes seated waiting to be called. So there's a radar there that times. When it times past 30 minutes, you're not yet called, it starts lighting red. Then once they see it's lighting red, they call you to go and they work on you. So as they can see, we can't actually take long working on one person.
Wow.
At most, each person is supposed to take 5 minutes.
Okay. What is the response like now for complaints like the website is down, things like that? What is your response like? The response pace or speed?
It's actually very fast because usually the complaints coming in the morning, and I think in like 3 hours they've worked on it because we have to liaise with the NITAU to work on it. And then by like 3 hours they're up and running.
Okay. And can we talk about the impact of middlemen on the system itself?
Middlemen have actually been locked out of the system. They cannot access it, they cannot see anything. So all they can rely on is the ignorance of most applicants. Especially most applicants are from the villages. They don't know anyone. They've come to get a passport and they have no idea where to start from. They are lost. So they make it up to the premises, but they do not enter. They fear to enter. So they try to maybe ask around, and I'm looking for this, I'm looking for that, and
So
once by sheer mistake it lands on a fraudster. They'll take advantage of it, and the chances are many for that to happen, because there are many people out there who don't know anything.
Yes.
So they hang around there listening in on anyone who is gullible enough, and they take advantage of those people without our notice, of course. By the time we get to know, they've already fleeced this person. We've already taken money from them, and we have nothing to do but to just guide you and help you, but not in money ways, of course. You have to pay the fees. But of course we'll guide you, we'll help you, maybe we will extend and help you maybe to make the application, and then you go to the bank and pay.
These companies that do take people outside, they always, okay, according to a few research we've conducted, they always charge much for the passport.
Sure, they do. They do charge much.
Have you tried to intervene?
Now, here's the thing. These companies help these people apply.
Yes.
Make applications. They actually also pay for their applications. The companies pay for their applications. But of course, the fact that they make the application for you, they pay for you, of course it's going to incur a charge on their side. Because, as I said already, this portal was put for you as the applicant to make the application yourself. Failure to do that, of course, you're going to incur money. Because if someone is to help you, is to extend a hand towards you, they are going to charge you a fee. So usually the agreement with these companies and these applicants is we help you make applications for the passport. We pay for the passport, and then they come and bring you even. You get a bus, they bring you for interviews. After interviews, they take your papers. You know those receiving slips that you give them? They take the papers, and then once the passports are ready, they receive the messages on their phones. The guys who are applying, they receive the messages and then forward and call you. Come, let's go pick the passport. The minute you finish picking, you enter into the bus. So where we have a problem is when you enter into the bus and hand over the passport to these people. Now that is unacceptable, and they are not supposed to actually do that. We've had talks with them, and most of them have actually changed this. Instead, they've resorted to writing confidentiality agreements with these people to somehow pay this money in another way. But other than that, they are not supposed to keep these people's passports in any way. They are not mandated to, and it's against the law.
Wow. Let's talk about the future plans you have as the Ministry of Internal Affairs.
Well, future plans, we tend to extend more passport centers to regions. For example, we are planning on opening a passport center in Arua. We all know Arua is actually further from most places. So we are trying to
put... There is no center in northern Uganda.
There is, but Gulu is actually far from Arua. So we are trying to put a passport center in the West Nile. We are also trying to at least add a few more passport centers at missions abroad. For example, the only passport center in the whole of Europe is in Copenhagen in Denmark, which becomes a bit harder for most people. So we are trying to also put a few more, like in Belgium and Paris, so that Ugandans can be able to easily access.
Do you have any in Hoima or Fort Porto or all those places?
All those ones are in the pipeline. We are trying to put at least, if we don't put in Hoima, we put in Fort Porto, because those two are near each other. So yeah, and we plan on at least having at least 50% of the Ugandans able and knowledgeable about how to make an application for a passport. That is why we venture out in publicity campaigns around regions. We've so far done Central here. We are trying to do Masaka. Then from Masaka, we are trying to do northern Uganda, and all that. So I think by like end of next year, we shall be somewhere.
Okay. Can you talk about the benchmarking aspect? What lessons do we have you learned from other countries?
We've benchmarked in Ghana, and we all know Ghana's immigration is the model immigration in Africa.
Okay.
And we really actually like the way the organizational structure is in regards to immigration. And we are trying to at least lobby to be able to have some of the facilities that they have. For example, we've so far even put up a training academy, fully equipped, and it's available for trainings. And we've actually also upgraded some of our systems at borders. Then we've introduced the border management system, which communicates with all the borders around Uganda, all the systems. So at least that's something. We are looking into more of that as the years go by.
Okay, that's interesting. Can we talk about the role of media now and the civil society?
The role of?
Role of media in creating awareness. Majorly, I'm now talking about fraudness and middlemen and so too. What do you think is the role of media?
Actually, the role of media has actually greatly been of a positive impact to us.
Okay.
Because if you remember, I don't know if you follow our Twitter page, but there was a time when we were being, is it called, okay, there was a time when there was a scandal to do with the Banyarwanda.
Oh.
You all know Frank Gashumba's thing with the Banyarwanda. So there was that time, they really woke up to just have his fire with the immigration. But before we could actually try to clear our image, the public actually came up and started fighting the battle for us. It goes to show that actually the services we are giving are of great impact, that the people have seen for themselves that these things are working, and every hearsay has actually been a lie. And these people come up and defend and be like, no, 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 no. If they tell you to naturalize, why don't you naturalize? Why do you need shortcuts and all that? So, really, the impact of media has actually helped us a great deal. It also helps shed a light and show us that our work is actually reaching out to the people.
Sure.
So the people are actually seeing exactly what we are telling them, and they are believing it. So yeah, it has actually done a great job.
Okay. Can we talk about the challenges you encounter while executing what you're supposed to execute as the Ministry of Internal Affairs or as immigration?
Major challenges are public non-believing. He tried to convince them passport is actually easy. You can make the application. No, I can't. Me, to get a passport? No, I can't. They really don't believe in themselves.
How do you get such means out of people?
You actually use examples.
No.
For example, there's a time I went to a church. I don't know if you know Victory Christian Church in Deba.
Yes.
So I was supposed to give a public lecture there. And I had gone there the year before, so I came back again. So before I started my lecture, I first had to ask who utilized what I lectured last time and went and applied for their passport without using anyone. And there's a gentleman that came up, and I asked him, explain to the people exactly what you did. He explained to the people exactly what I had actually told them. And everyone believed it can happen. Shortly after, there was a gentleman who had actually raised up his hand. He had a passport that expired in 1980. So he brought forward the passport and was like, let me also come and make an application. He made an application that day, went and paid, scheduled an appointment. He left a very happy man that the things can actually work that fast. So yeah, it is actually a great thing that we are reaching out to the people. We're actually getting opportunities to be invited by churches to actually lecture the masses. It is actually working out for us a great deal.
Okay. Well, is the process of renewal the same as that of acquiring a new one?
Yes, it is the same.
Entirely the same?
Yeah.
Even pay the same amount?
Exactly. Only that this one you have to bring the original old passport. Yeah.
And in case of it's lost?
If it's lost, the government considers that as carelessness of a government document. You pay the same amount, but on top of it, you pay a fine of 100,000.
Okay.
Whether lost, you poured water into it, or you tore pages out of it, or you wrote in it. All that is considered carelessness, and the government charges you a fine.
Okay. Interesting. So I guess the masses out there are getting the information they require in terms of acquiring for passports and sort of. So as we wind up, is there any other information you'd like us to know?
Well, I would like the viewers out there should know that there's nothing to fear about the Ministry of Internal Affairs. It's a government office, and you can come at any time, given it's within working hours. A passport is easy to get. You can actually do it on your own. You don't need anyone to help you. Unless if you don't know how to use a computer or a phone, you can actually approach people at internet cafes, and they can help you. You can go properly to the bank and pay. These days you can actually even use agent banking. If the banks are closed, you use agent banking. It can help you. And you come for interviews and wait for the passport. It is very simple, very seamless, and very swift. So trust the system and it will work.
Oh, wow. Interesting. And it has been really a wonderful pleasure to have you here today, and we hope to keep getting you to share such information. Well, as we wind up, please give out your last remarks as we sign out.
Last remarks, I'm actually very happy to be here, and I love the opportunity that you've given me to reach out to the people and the viewers out there to get a chance to get to know the actual truth and move away from the hearsays, the bad rumors, the stories out there. Most people are actually projecting their own stories and making it like the normal thing out there, yet it's not. So yeah, it is really good for us to come out here and give you the right thing.
Okay.
Yes.
You did give out some contacts in case a person out there wants to reach out to the Immigration or the Ministry of Internal Affairs. How can they contact you, or what platforms are you on?
Oh yeah, if in case you need any help with your application for a passport, or someone is trying to fleece you, please reach out to us on our call center number 0417 102 600. 0417 102 600. Or go to our Twitter page at DCICUG and give us the complaint.
Well, interesting. Thank you so much, Ms. Arithea Nakiwala, who is the Deputy Spokesperson from the Ministry of Internal Affairs. We appreciate for having spared your time to come and share with us this broad knowledge about how to acquire a passport, and also the whole process, what it requires, and also the aspect of fraudsters in there. So we really appreciate, and gratitude to your team, whatever you work with. Well, my name is Luke Majumba Naito, and I want to appreciate you too, the viewers who have been part of this show since we started, and I hope you have had interesting knowledge, and I wish you make use of this kind of information. Please distance yourself from middlemen. The system is very fine. If you have a gadget, if you have a computer, if you have a phone, you can do it yourself. The issue is to go to their website and of course find out much more. So please make sure you do not use a second person in this regard. If you do not want to be taken advantage of, people want to make use of you, they will want to get money out of you. So if you want to do it on your own, by the way, you even have relatives who are educated, so why don't you reach out to them and they help you? But you can also reach out to cafes, they can also help, but not can I say, not on high costs. You should also be very vigilant in this regard. I can't go past this. I want to appreciate you, and also remind you that it is Arithea Hotel by Marriott in Entebbe that powers this discussion. I want to wish you a lovely day coming ahead.
Issues at hand, powered by
Arithea Hotel by Marriott Entebbe. Comfort and luxury at its best.
This is